What is going on? It is Nate the Game Guy coming back with another video at hand, and today I want to talk about some reasons as to why you should consider collecting for the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 was easily one of my favorite 7th generation consoles during the 7th generation of gaming, and I've had a ton of great memories playing on it, with the great selection of games through its library, pulling up late nighters with all of my buddies back in the day, and of course going back today, replaying some of those games and enjoying myself and having a great time. So without further ado, let's jump right into this video's topic, take a look at some reasons as to why you should consider collecting for the Xbox 360 right after the intro. So when it comes to collecting for the Xbox 360, there are several reasons as to why I think the Xbox 360 is a great console to collect for. But this one is hands down one of the best reasons that I can think of as to why you should consider collecting for Microsoft's 7th generation entry, and that is just how cheap and affordable the games are. It is true that there are some Xbox 360 games that have been going up in price and, of course, value, but I would still argue that the large majority of the Xbox 360's game library is still very affordable to collect for. In my personal game room, I have about over 500 Xbox 360 games, and it is the second largest game library here in the game room. As you can imagine, I've had no trouble at all finding deals when it comes to collecting for the Xbox 360, of course when looking locally through thrift shops, garage sales, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, public library stores, and of course I've had no trouble finding deals online, even on websites like eBay, where sometimes I found a lot of games for $50, free shipping, 20 games, where it's essentially each game is $2.50 if you round it all up. Of course, not every deal on eBay is going to be that good, but you get the idea. It is true that you will find some games for the Xbox 360 that are not really worth getting for, unless if you happen to be a completionist. When looking locally, you will easily find like your Maddens, Connect Adventures, Connect Sports. But I will say one thing, there are a ton of great games that you can easily pick up for a very affordable price, such as the Tom Clancy games, the Gears of War games, Halo, right? That's a pretty big novelty for the Xbox franchise, right? Lots of great games for a very affordable price. I would strongly recommend that you guys jump in, because after all, it's very affordable and you can easily find some great games that you will have a total blast playing. Now, of course, another great reason as to why you should consider collecting for the Xbox 360 is it's not very competitive to collect for, right? When you are trying to find deals for online or locally or whatever, what the case may be, for GameCube is very highly competitive when trying to find a deal for. It's not a very affordable console to collect for overall, and when you do find a deal, you better jump on it quick, because there's a very good chance someone else will grab it for you. Xbox 360 is not really that type of console you have to worry about when it comes to competition. Of course, that does play a huge role into one of my first reasons that I mentioned from before, which is the affordable prices when it comes to collecting for the Xbox 360, since the large majority of game collectors are mostly interested in Nintendo and Sega and some of the old PlayStation stuff and more retro consoles. That allows for a lot less competition to take place when it comes to collecting for the Xbox 360. After all, it is, like I said, a very cheap and affordable console to collect for. And of course, with less competition, I have to say it looks a lot like a very ideal console to collect for. When I think of great consoles to collect for that I recommend that other game collectors do check out as well, is because I think something with a lot less competition to find deals with, and of course something that's affordable. I think that is something that should have more attention placed on it, especially for those that are on a little bit of a budget that still want to jump in on that game collecting bandwagon. There's nothing wrong with the Xbox 360 when compared to the Nintendo consoles and Sega consoles and all that, but like I said, a lot less competition when collecting for the Xbox 360. I really think that you guys should put that into consideration because it'll just make things so much easier for you when you're looking for something fun to play and have yourself a good time when trying to find some games to collect for. So of course the Xbox 360 is a very cheap and affordable game console to collect for. It has a lot less competition than, say, more collectible consoles such as GameCube and Sega Saturn, but of course I have to talk about its phenomenal library of games. It is true that the argument could be made that some of its exclusives aren't really exclusives because you can also get them on PC, but in this video I'm mostly going to be focusing on with their exclusives, if they are or not available on PS3 and the Wii, and the consoles that were mostly directed as direct competition for the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 has a ton of phenomenal third-party titles and exclusive titles, such as the Halo franchise, Gears of War franchise, Crackdown games, the Tom Clancy games, Battlefield, Call of Duty, Forza Motorsport. So many great games that I strongly recommend that a lot of people check out if they haven't checked out already, or just simply go back and replay and revisit and relive some of those great memories. I've had a ton of great memories playing on the Xbox 360. It just has so many games that I do find myself repeatedly going back to during this day and age and having myself such a great time even after all these years have passed by. Of course, I do want to recommend a video that you guys should check out, which is my video on underrated Xbox 360 titles that I'll be linking somewhere for you guys to check out, because if you are going to jump in onto collecting for the Xbox 360, or if you have already, I do think that some of these titles that I am showing in that video are worth checking out. But yes, the Xbox 360 has a phenomenal library of games. If you guys think I should make a video on some of the best Xbox 360 games that you should own, play, all that wonderful stuff, please let me know, because I would love to make that video if you guys are interested. But of course, as mentioned from before, it has a great library of games that you guys should jump in and check out. So of course, I have to talk about the overall experience of collecting and owning the Xbox 360. One thing I've seen online is that a ton of Xbox enthusiasts will argue that the Xbox 360 was the best Xbox console that was introduced by Microsoft. And don't get me wrong, I love the original Xbox. The original Xbox is what started it all for the Xbox brand. But I will say, I can understand why the argument is there as to why the Xbox 360, a lot of Xbox enthusiasts will say that it is the best Xbox console that Xbox was ever brought into existence, or Microsoft, right? It's just a great console. I think there is just nothing like holding that controller in your hand, turning it on, hearing that startup screen, and of course going to the dashboard. Of course, my favorite dashboard for the Xbox 360 back in the day when I used to play it all the time was the original Blades dashboard. The original Blades dashboard was just so good. I just loved the overall layout. I loved the sound effects of you moving to your games, your files, and all that wonderful stuff. I think the Xbox 360 was just a fun console to collect for. Of course, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Be sure to check out my video as to some of the problems that you will find and encounter when it comes to collecting and playing for the Xbox 360. It is not a perfect console, but I will say it did introduce a lot of games and franchises and just paved down a lot of great memories. And I've spent so many hours playing the Xbox 360 back in the day, and I just think since it is overall a very underlooked game console when it comes to collecting in this day and age, I do think it is a console that does deserve a lot more recognition. Sure, it does not have like Mario games and like old school Sega games like Burning Rangers and like Rise Star and all that wonderful stuff, but I do have to say the Xbox 360, I personally believe, has a very, very, very strong library of games. And of course, with its overall experience, its layout, its great selection of games, as mentioned from before, I do think it is a very underlooked game console that more people should pay attention to because it's just a great console overall. And I have to say, I may one day go for a full Xbox 360 set because I just like it that much. But I strongly recommend that you guys check out collecting for the Xbox 360. If not, jump on it more if you can. I think you will have a wonderful time if you do. Alright, and that will conclude my video as to why you should consider collecting for the Xbox 360. What do you guys think of my reasons? Are there any reasons that you guys can think of as to why you think the Xbox 360 is a great console to collect for? Are you considering collecting for the Xbox 360 after watching this video? Feel free to comment in the comment section down below. I would love to hear from you guys, see what you guys have to say. Give this video a like if you did enjoy. Helps boost it up into the YouTube algorithm so more viewers such as you can find videos just like this. Of course, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I post a ton of content when it comes to game collecting tips, video game related subjects. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, please do consider subscribing. But if you're going to subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell notification button so that way you will be notified when I upload a video just like this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.